Can a seagull help Arsenal? What relevance does a seagull have towards Arsenal Football Club, you might ask? I don't know, but a man who plays for Brighton nicknamed the seagull Simon Adingra. Forgive me for mispronunciation. I've butchered his name in the same way he butchers defenders, people. In my opinion, Arsenal need to go all out for him. It's probably improbable we do it on deadline day. If he allegedly has a 50 million asking price from Brighton, then I think we need to do the mad thing, if I'm honest with you, on deadline day. He can play on the right, he can play on the left, he turns up in big games, he can play a high pressing and counter pressing game. He presses very well. At 22 years of age, he fits into the remit of what Arsenal have been looking to recruit, and he provides greater attacking talent. What is there not to like about the Ivorian Ivory Coast international? Things are happening for him very fast at 22 years of age, turning 23 soon. He's got 2 goals in 2 games on his CV already, I believe. Forgive me if I'm wrong. He struck in the League Cup and also against Everton. He's good 1v1. He's a demon of a winger to play against for defenders. He can play the simple game. He can take you down the flanks. He can play the simple passing game and cutting inside. Can play on the left, can play on the right. Fantastic on the transition. The man's absolute mustard, if I'm completely honest with you. And Brighton, we all know Brighton, I don't know what they do, but they're very good when it comes to recruiting new talent. And they probably have the replacement for the replacement before the replacements even required, people. Again, as I said, his stocks are rising despite only being 22 years of age, people. I like him a lot. If he really has a 50 million asking price, it's a big ask of Brighton and Arsenal to get a deal done in what's left of the window, but we need to go and get it done. He's actually deceivingly got a very good final ball. You go and look through his assists and things like that, or great sequences of play that Brighton end up scoring from, much like against Man United. He is always involved, and I believe because of the way Brighton historically play football and under their new manager, of course Arsenal and Brighton play 2 very different contrasting styles, but I think he would slot in perfectly. Of course, he would provide competition / depth on the right hand side for Bukayo Saka. And I think he's well-rounded on the left and the right, and he'd be a demon on the left-hand side. I might be over-exaggerating, and he's a very different player, but I personally think he's the new Sadio Mane, if I'm honest. Now, I know he plays for Brighton versus Mane making a name for himself at Southampton before going to Liverpool. And in terms of adaptation, I like his mentality. He left his nation, Ivory Coast, at a young age to go and move across the border to Ghana and sign for the Right to Dream Academy. Since then, he's actually played in a couple of countries. He's played in Belgium, obviously England, Denmark, technically Ghana. And I would say one thing I like about him, just through doing research of him in academy days, it seems like the more you put him out the comfort zone, the better he gets. Like, he'll be a 15-year-old playing at under 17s level. So that shows me he relishes swimming in the deep end, which is, and he's got a fearless approach. His mentality is the same way, he plays football. 50 million is surely worth it, in my opinion, for a long-term option who has only, in my opinion, scratched the surface of his potential. One thing is for sure, the initial 6 million, I believe, Brighton spent on him, they'll make a handsome profit when the time comes, if I'm honest. He's technically very strong. He can play with both feet. He can play on either flank. He can actually also play as a false 9, which versatility is right up the street of Mikel Arteta. Predominantly, he also can play as a number 10, which we don't really have options if it isn't Martin Odegaard. So yeah, he can play on both sides. His heat map probably guides him more to the right hand side, but apparently he prefers to play on the left. Imagine him and Saka either side, and then you've got Gabriel Jesus, Trossard, Martinelli, Kai Havertz all in the mix. That is the attacking contingent we need, and then all we need to do is probably wait another 12 months and look to find the striker, if I'm honest. Now, I don't think Arsenal are going to go for him, but in conclusion, he is someone, in my opinion, who would be a perfect fit for Arsenal. Someone who, when I saw the links, I got excited, and I think he's destined for a top 6 club. Why not sign him before his price skyrockets, while he's still relatively inexperienced and isn't quite, he is a household name, but isn't quite a household name. I don't think it's going to happen. We're still linked with Raheem Sterling and Kingsley Coleman and all of those kind of guys of this world, so we'll have to see. But hopefully I've humored you. You lot, let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.